Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. It is exactly 9:27 a.m. This is News and Views on Salam Media. And we are now going to be looking at an issue that was raised by the ATM. National Assembly Speaker Mapisang Kakula has declined a request submitted by the African Transformation Movement, ATM, to have the voting procedure on the Section 89 independent panel report into the Phala Phala farm scandal held via a secret ballot. So let's talk to Kolisi Kubu, who is the ATM head of parliamentary services, and understand why is it that initially they wanted this to be via secret ballot, and now that it has been turned down by the National Assembly Speaker, what that means and how this is then going to play out. A very good morning to you, Mkolisi Makubu. Thank you indeed for your patience. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Julie, and assalamu alaikum to all of your listeners here at Salam Media.
Wa alaikum assalam. So, ATM are not happy with doing the vote openly. You wanted the vote in secret. Can I ask you why the vote in secret? And then let's look at Mapisang Kokula's response and how that makes you guys feel.
Look, it's not necessarily a train smash for us that the vote of no confidence or the vote of impeachment is now going to be voted in via an open vote. Because honestly speaking, the truth of the matter is that the environment is politically charged, where you've already seen in the ruling party, and I'm not even going to get into the intricacies of their factions, but you know that they are deeply divided, heavily so. And some NEC members have come out calling for the president to resign and step aside. But over and above that, we've got a legacy report as far as Cyril Ramaphosa is concerned, because he's bribed people in the past, because we've seen some MPs being deeply implicated to his CR17 campaign. So we wanted initially as a party to protect the dignity of all of the members of parliament that are going to be voting on Tuesday. But over and above that, to make sure that they vote using their conscience, because honestly speaking, each member of parliament that is in parliament is representing a constituency. And they cannot be dictated to by a party, especially when it comes to holding the executive accountable, because that is an oath that all of the members of parliament took when they assumed office at the beginning of the term. So the most important part, we wanted all of the members of parliament for them to be able to carry out and oversee, make sure that the oversight as far as accountability on the executive is concerned is carried out without any impediments, without any hindrances. So that is why we called for the motion of no confidence. But since the speaker declined our request to have the motion voted in by means of a secret ballot, it's not necessarily a train smash. We will proceed with the motion as it is, and we will listen to the deliberations of the different political parties, and we will continue to vote and consider this report, this Section 89 report, and vote for the establishment of the inquiry that will look into the impeachment of President Ramaphosa. We are united as the forum of opposition parties in this instance, and we will move forward in this fashion.
Okay, in her response to your request, the speaker said that she believes a closed voting procedure would deprive citizens of identifying the positions of their representatives across party lines, and that this may facilitate the possibility of corruption aimed at influencing members to vote in a manner where they will be shielded from accountability to the people they represent for the exercise of their constitutional duty. Do you agree with her sentiments?
I feel like the speaker is necessarily speaking for the party, because if you listen to this line of march, it actually says that it's shielding members of parliament from responding or voting in a manner that is consistent with the constituency, etc., etc. The first duty that a member of parliament has is to make sure that the people of South Africa benefit from any parliamentary sitting, from any decision that is taken in parliament. And if you listen to the speaker's response in detail, it actually says that the members of parliament cannot vote secretly because they're going to be defying, in essence, the mandate of the party. But when we actually think about it, if the members of parliament are voting in secret ballot with the legacy report that was established also by the UDM, if you can remember, in the fifth administration, the UDM was able to actually get the vote of no confidence to be voted by means of a secret ballot. And that assisted the process because they were able to assist Parliament in holding the executive accountable. So I feel like the Speaker is necessarily shielding the ANC and is protecting the ANC so that the members of parliament of the ANC that have been deployed by the ANC to parliament do not necessarily vote against the caucus decision, against the NEC decision, which they will, even if they do vote in open. So we're not necessarily worried. We're not necessarily moved as far as the decision is concerned. And as far as the speaker saying that the reasons are that were submitted by the African Transformation Movement were not compelling, we've got a court order that actually gave us a prerogative. I mean, that gave us the right to have this sitting voted for by means of a secret ballot in the previous motion that we raised. And it was taken back to the speaker for reconsideration, but the speaker chose to stick to her guns, all because she's still protecting the very same people that are doing all of this malfeasance to the people of South Africa. So we are not necessarily going to be hindered by the speaker's decision not to have this motion set by means of, voted in by means of secret ballot. We will move forward and we will be victorious.
Okay, let me just wrap up by sharing something else which she said, which sounds pretty important. The speaker also said she had to balance ATM's reasons for a secret ballot procedure against other imperatives, including the foundational constitutional principle of openness, as set out in Section 1D of the Constitution, which guides South Africans' democratic order. Furthermore, the Speaker said the constitutional requirement, as set out in Section 59(1)(b), that the National Assembly must conduct its proceedings in an open manner, was also an important consideration in this case. Your thoughts?
Julie, very importantly, if you can remember, in the past 2 years, from 2021, in fact, 2020 up until 2022 now, there has been a lot of political killings, and all of them are targeted because of the rulings because of the decisions that they're taking as far as the voting is concerned in the different municipalities, different legislatures, and we've also seen threats that have been leveled against members of parliament. If you can remember, Honorable Dirks, if I'm not mistaken, was also faced with a number of disciplinary issues and whatnot for having reported a crime that had happened, for having reported an irregularity, for wanting to hold the president or the executive accountable. We cannot allow that to be happening. In the process, or in the process of allowing for openness to happen, it does not mean that human lives should be at risk. I mean, if you actually think about it, the president has violated a number of laws, including intimidation, abduction, and whatnot of all of the people that were involved in the case. What's to say that the people that vote against, that vote for the impeachment process and inquiry to start, will not be faced with the same fate? The president violated PRECA, which is also another big deal. I mean, if he is going to be standing saying that he is all for the elimination of corruption and corrupt practices, yet he is found to have violated the very same laws, what's to say that he's not going to necessarily be doing the very same thing to all of the people that are going to be voting against him? He is in breach of the Constitution on many levels. He is in breach of many other violations that have been leveled against him. So we cannot trust that he's going to be fair in the process. I mean, also, he is known to be a bribist of note. He's going to be definitely walking around with brown envelopes, yellow envelopes, giving people so that they vote with him. What we are saying as the African Transformation Movement, it is not a train smash. It would have been lovely to have the secret ballot as a means of voting. But since that is not happening, we will proceed and we will be victorious as far as this motion is concerned.
Point taken. Ngolisi Mkubu, ATM Head of Parliamentary Services, thank you indeed for your thoughts on this matter. Have a good day and God bless.
Thank you. Same to you.
It is exactly 9:38 a.m. In a minute or two, we will be talking with Nobuntu Webster, Deputy Leader of Build One South Africa. Another very important issue that we need to weigh in on, and that is the issue around unemployed teachers in our country. It's just an absolutely unacceptable situation. Is it about the Department of Education not having the resources, the financial resources to pay these teachers? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the Department of Education, but Nobuntu Webster is going to outline all of that and more on the show in a minute or two.